Yeah, my name is I'm known as Norman Stevenson with a PH. Um, that's my real name, but in the art world, yeah, I'm known as Rubba. That's my nickname, Rubba. And I've really been involved in traditional African dance now for over 45 years, Rachel. So just to cut it short, yeah, I basically got involved in African dance by accident, and it changed my whole life. But then part of that change was coming to London to start or help shape a new group called Adzido Pan-African Dance Ensemble. And it was like a manpower scheme at the time. It was part-time in a sense, really. And so after about a year, I realized I needed more work. In fact, I didn't. Um, there was a friend of mine that was working in my company at Adzido, and she really liked how I was teaching and said that I was very talented. I didn't have much faith in myself at that time. I knew I was good, but I just thought I could just fit in one area. And she saw an advert for a job in Chisenhale Dance Space. And she told me to go for it. I goes, nah, I can't go for that. There's too much educated people for that. I'm not educated enough to go for that. So I was insecure about my education. Yeah, and the type of people I saw for the job were people that were like professors or people with what I thought greater experience. So I said no. The person went behind my back and applied for the job on my behalf. Yeah. and so I got the interview. I said, "Oh, you, yeah." But she really believed in me, and so I said, "All right, then let me go for the job, go for the interview." So I went to Chisenhale Dance Space, and there, sure enough, there was my South African dance teacher from the company was there. My teacher was there. And quite a few more established people. So I didn't feel very like I get the job or anything. But part of the interview was they had us all teaching a group of school children. So Chisenhale must have invited the school to come benefit from the day by being taught by the different tutors. And they sat down to watch all of us teaching. So, yeah, obviously, my time came and I blew it apart. I done well because I do know where I'm good at, yeah. And even them times, I still wasn't super confident, but I knew that I was good that way. And other people had more faith in me than myself, put it that way. And after the sessions, everybody had their sessions, and they took us to the room to interview us. They made it clear that they wanted me. I goes, what? Yeah. But they realized that I had a very great rapport with children, and that my method was, and I think I came across as a bit more streetwise and real. And I think that was the type of people that were running Chisenhale. They were more, and so they offered me. I think in the interview I said to them, well, I'm not good at that computer stuff and I'm not good at all that stuff, but I'm good at that. Maybe I can help you with that and you can help me with that. I said, yeah, you can help me to grow that way and I can share my skills with the space and everything. And I think they were really attracted to have the difference of African dance in the space as well. Yeah. So, yeah, we went for it.
Yeah.
And I can't believe it. It really went that way, I'd like to remember their names. They're so wonderful.
Was it Mary and Chris?
Yes.
Mary Prestige and Chris.
Yes. They helped me to apply for my own fundings. So the first year, what they'd done, I shadowed them and they taught me how to use the computer, how to approach the Arts Council, how to get the funding for the project. So they kind of done that and shadowed me. Yeah. And that was really good. The second year I was left on my own. So I had to do everything that they told me. And I done it. Yeah. Still not very great at the kind of like wordings, but I can manage people and get things done.
Yeah.
And so I succeeded in actually setting up that project for the second year. And I was going to schools around Tower Hamlets and around East London and setting up projects with them and getting funding. And so I really got that skill from them. So this is what Chisenhale is important for me, because that is where there was a very important link into developing me from one stage to the next stage, yeah, and which allowed me to go to other places to develop to the next stage. So Chisenhale really, Mary and Chris really helped me, and they really, really put me on the map in a sense as well, because although I was touring with the company that I was with, and I was working there in a part-time basis, yeah, I was able to reach out now to London East London and establish more clients and draw them towards my work. Yeah. So they allowed that. Yeah. And it was a fantastic time. I had weekly classes there.
Yeah.
And that was really successful. It was so different to have African dance there. And my classes were good. And from there, I was able to even recruit dancers into the company. You know, I was able to train some dancers. They came there and they showed ambitions to take their career, take what they want further, or to even learn. And I introduced them to the company, and one of them became one of the best dancers you can think of, you know. So that's something that's been following me all my life anyway. I seem to meet people and help them towards their career goal, and without even knowing how much I've done, yeah, until I'm reminded years later. So that's what Chisenhale done for me, Rachel. Yeah. Basically, I don't know if I would be in this position, yeah, without that link, yeah, because now, since then, I've applied for fundings. I've got over £60,000 from the Arts Council to run my own projects in schools and so forth. And I've gone from strength to strength in certain ways, yeah. As an artist that's trying to push African dance, yeah, and get a bit more respect for African dance. I wouldn't say, let people be more aware of the beauty of African dance and music and what it really can do for the human being, not just the dancer. It's not just about performance and dance. It's really something that I think is holistic and meaningful. And so I think Chisenhale has put me in a position to be able to kind of like try and achieve those aims and those dreams that I have here. Yeah.
Amazing. And I think what you were just saying then actually really chimes with what Chisenhale were trying to do as well. It wasn't just performance or dance. It was a kind of a way of thinking about life and living your life and working with people. And so your way of working and teaching also, I can see how that really aligned with what they were doing as well.
Yes, because it was community, it was social, it was inclusive. Yeah, it was really wonderful atmosphere. Yeah, I remember Rachael Davies from there. She done really well when she started out. She done really, really well. Yeah, I'm proud of those people because I saw how they were beginning from there as well. You see, and she went leaps and bounds ahead of me. And it was really good days. Yeah, it was a bit more easier in the East End at that time. Things have changed now. It's not so easy as before for everyone. The schools, the community. The reason I say school is that that's my most important area, working with children. Right. I do a lot of work. Believe in me, I do a lot of projects, but I think working with the children is the best thing. Yeah.
That community dance work that you were doing, that Mary and Chris and Lynda were doing as well, was really important to Chisenhale.
And the community.
And the community, yeah, and the community, exactly. I saw in the archive that you performed as part of one of the Cha-Cha-Cha nights. And I think you were invited to do a solo piece. This is in 1988. I saw a mention of it in a program. So you performed some of your own work as part of that evening. Do you remember that?
Vaguely, but I do remember doing something there. I can't remember exactly what I'd done, what dance I'd done, and it must have been with some drummers, and me probably doing a solo demonstration of some of the dances that I was doing at the time. I cannot remember what dance I performed at the time, but I do remember doing the solo piece there as part of it, and I remember maybe even doing it a few times, and supporting them in organising it at some point. Yeah.
And I saw as well that Adzido did perform at Chisenhale at some point. Don't know if you remember that at all.
I would think that we did, because we had a professional unit, 30 dancers or more on stage for the large scale performance. And then we had a unit of 12 for small venues and small. So we've done all the small venues throughout London and up and down the country. Yeah, so I would envision that we've done something at Chisenhale, but I would say that we did definitely, because that was what we offered at Adzido, and I was working there, and I'm sure we've done something there, yeah.
Were there other spaces like Chisenhale in London at that time that you were involved with?
To remember, there was places that offered things. They had something in Hackney where it was called Jazeera, but that's more like a nightclub and dance as well. Yeah, but that's more like it wasn't in the arts centre, I would call it. It was a music and arts centre, a music venue and arts centre. Then you had I know in Brixton we started the Barrington Road Studios. They had a studio there where we taught for quite a while. And then obviously at the Place Theatre, Swiss Cottage, you had Lord Eric, he had a centre down there. And these centres, they were not exactly like Chisenhale, but they offered spaces for dancers to perform and do their things, where Chisenhale was more kind of like established in a certain way, best way I can put it,
You said that teaching, working with schools, teaching children's, really important. It continues to be really important to you. At that time when you were working at Chisenhale, were your classes mostly for kids, or were you working with a whole range of people?
It was mostly children in a sense. Obviously, I had a weekly class, so that was getting people from the community every week. But I mean, once we got the project going, we're visiting several schools. And so I'll be doing that maybe over, the 6-week term period. Set up with one schools. And I found that I was involved in school a lot more. Because that's all I was focusing on. I was doing the applications to go into schools. And not for so much community. The community was being served by my doing the classes and the performances. Were for we're both for community and schools, but I found myself focusing on that more, and have been since. Really, that's where it's most important for me.
How would you describe what Chisenhale was at that time?
What it was, I think it was everything that we've just been talking about. Really, it's everything we've been talking about. It was a home for people who are looking to kind of like change their life directions in terms of dance. Maybe even it affects them changing in other ways. But it was that type of venue that offered that escape route. It also was a venue that helped companies to break through. And it served its purpose. It was a social venue. You can go there and just, stay there all day, basically, in a sense, If I hadn't thought of anything else, it was everything else, yeah. But it had everything there. It had most of all, though, I think what was beautiful about it was the atmosphere. Was genuine, was caring, and Chisenhale also inspired me because I don't sure if you know, but I came back to Bristol and I ended up having a 4,000 square foot studio myself. Yeah, called Hamilton House, DMAC UK. Me and 5 other artists got together. Basically, we were offered this amazing space. It was absolutely incredible. So this was kind of like part of my inspiration from Chisenhale and part of my dream to kind of like have a space for Africa, to offer more African dance. Because finding a space in the atmosphere in the current climate was just getting expensive. So we built this space with our own money, with just a little bit of help from council. And we had an amazing 12 years. Yeah, amazing 12 years. It was the best thing in the Southwest. We were offering everything that Chisenhale was offering, but more because it was a 4,000 square foot space. We were having events, yeah. We had over 1,000 people coming through each week, and we were offering the warmth that Chisenhale had too. It was a beautiful venue. It was like a village, yeah. And we done that also to help artists develop themselves as well and to break through, just like Chisenhale, yeah. We used to, somebody come to the class, we used to do their publicity and promotion for them. We used to offer them like spaces free so that they can establish themselves. We used to offer all those type of opportunities to help people break through. And most importantly, we used to charge them the cheapest rate you can find in Bristol. Yeah, yeah, so they can afford it. Yeah, so that's an inspiration from Chisenhale, really believe. Yeah, to end up having my own. Now, I didn't realize I'd be, and it's part of my dream. Imagine, yeah, you only dream these things when you're younger. You don't think it's going to happen, and there you are, a 4,000 square foot dance space running. Yeah, it's like the end of my dream. I've toured professionally. I've done this. Now the big space. Yeah,
it's an amazing, contribution. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Take care.